Thank you for giving me some of your time. I appreciate it. I know how busy life can be. I thought it would be easier if all you had to do was sit back, relax, and listen, rather than spending an hour or two hunched over your computer, straining to read text that, thanks to your past experience, you don't know if you can even believe. I'm Scott Rupert, independent candidate for Ohio's U.S. Senate. That's independent with a small I. And I'm going to give you a new way to view politics and politicians. I'm not going to recite a long list of political or academic achievements, and there's a reason for that. I really don't have any. In fact, I don't have a high school diploma, but then neither did Abraham Lincoln, billionaire and AFG founder Carl Linder, or American Idol's Simon Cowell, and countless others. What I do have is a good deal of common sense. By trade, I'm a truck driver, and the son of a truck driver. I'm also a carpenter, a plumber, an electrician, a welder, and a mechanic. I mow my own lawn and take out my own trash. In short, I'm an ordinary American, just like you. And I believe you are as qualified as I am to play a role in your government, and I hope my example will inspire some of you to do so. I was born on a U.S. Army base in Wiesbaden, West Germany. My parents returned to Ohio when I was 2. They divorced when I was 12 as a result of my father's adulterous behavior. My mother did her best to teach me to live by a high moral code, and today I can say she succeeded. Unfortunately, my teen years and early adulthood, and sadly my first marriage, were marked more by the influence of my father. I tell you these things to make a point, to demonstrate to you that it's more important to be honest with you than to look good. I'm proud of the man I am today. Therefore, I'm not ashamed for you to know I haven't always been this way. I said earlier I'm going to give you a new way to view politicians. I'm convinced that the people who serve us in federal government don't have to possess the highest level of academic or political achievement, only common sense and good character. And I believe good character is more than making the right choice every time. It's how we respond when faced with the fact that for whatever reason we've made a wrong one. And I believe that you feel the same way. We're not looking for perfect politicians. We're looking for honest politicians. If the person appealing to you for your vote can't be honest with you about who they are, how can you believe they're being honest with you about anything else? When I was 15, my mother remarried to a good man with kids of his own, and 10 of us shared a 2-bedroom house in Sheffield Lake. Sometime before my 17th birthday, I dropped out of high school, got my first real job, and my first apartment. I've been making my own way ever since. Sometimes it's been easy, sometimes it's been hard, and I've certainly made my share of mistakes along the way. Every one of us has a few things we're good at. I've been blessed with the ability to discern problems, come up with creative solutions using the tools available to me. My wife says the way MacGyver did in the television show. Today, I see governments taking more and more and leaving us with less and less. Between federal, state, and local income taxes, fees on services, sales taxes, property taxes, usage fees, permits and licenses, we're spending more to support our governments than to support ourselves and our families. I see governments that aren't content just taking the lion's share of our income. They want to tell us what to do with the rest, penalizing us for buying the wrong car, forcing us to buy health insurance, telling us what kind of foods to eat, even regulating what kind of light bulbs we can buy. I see leaders dividing us into ideological groups, causing us to fight amongst ourselves. They persuade us to undermine our Constitution, the one thing protecting us all equally. You may have heard the saying, good fences make good neighbors. The Constitution is that fence. It separates my ideology from the ideology of my neighbor. I see a broken and corrupt political process where those we've elected to represent us really don't. They use taxpayer money to buy one another's support by funding special projects. They exclude their state from the consequences of their votes, ignoring the fact that if a bill is bad for their state, it's probably bad for others as well. I see an electoral process that hardly provides us with a choice as to who represents us or our state. We're forced to choose between two mediocre candidates, each using fear to motivate us to vote against their opponent rather than for them. I see candidates spending millions of dollars on image, telling us all about the problems while failing to offer solutions. This process has become so expensive that a leader can hardly be objective and nonpartisan when so much money has been spent to elect him. This broken, corrupt, and expensive system of politics is preventing us from fixing the real-life problems, and it doesn't have to be this way. Now, I'm not really a they ought to do something kind of a guy. I'm more of a here's what we got to do kind of guy. I have solutions to fix the broken process, as well as solutions to fix the real-life problems we face every day. And here's the best part. I'm willing to tell you what they are. So many politicians come to us and say, we have a problem. It's a really big problem. Vote for me and I'll fix the problem, because by golly, it's a problem, without ever offering us any solutions. I say, here's a problem. Here's a solution. If you think this solution makes sense, vote for me. So that you know where I stand, here's a quick rundown of the issues in politics today, bearing in mind, the issues aren't the issue. Politics is the issue. If we fix the broken process, the problems will fix themselves. On jobs, government can't create jobs. It can only create an environment conducive to growth. On energy, if we produce our own energy, we control the costs, contribute to our own prosperity and our national security. On national security, protect our borders and produce our own energy. On foreign policy, simply mind our own business. On abortion, I'm pro-life. We give due process to criminals. Why not to the most innocent? On guns, the Second Amendment is your right to carry. On Social Security, fix it for the elderly, those already dependent on it, and allow the younger generations to opt out. On entitlements, there is no such thing. There's a better way to help those truly in need. And finally, on term limits, the best way to control Congress's spending is to elect people to Congress who know how hard it is to earn the money, then not let them stay long enough to forget.